as is the red old apple. So I noticed with conjunction with krill oil and possibly the hanging Satan stars of the Infinity Star, I have connected somehow to the past and the memories of myself in the past. More so as in terms of memory, remembrance. So one letter I had written Balthazar as a vamp Balthazar after I had eaten a red apple. Found myself writing that he still did not love me even after the death of Christ. So this letter that I wrote must have been myself connected to Balthazar, possibly around the saint's time and of Saint Balthazar before or after he became a vampire. But it surely felt that we were still connected in terms of the vampire part of myself and his true self of a vampire during the time that I did write it. So it only keeps flashing and showing the obvious that the supposed assigned, real, created, divine partner was still someone else's. So it shows in these quotes as love you to death do us part. Meaning, Jane Monica Carter Sanford goes to Zach Elliott and Jeffrey Elliott breaks them apart. And the reason why he breaks them apart is that Jane Monica Carter Sanford is meant for Jeffrey Elliott. And the strange part of it is, in this life and in these times, it is strange for quotes such as date someone your own age and or calendar year as of an ox, which is Jeffrey for my belief and understanding, and myself, a dragon to mate. But in the whole big picture, I believe it is the same blood type. As in, love is something strong, like a feeling, and death is the same. So dead is more so as of an incident and or a really fast passing or a stiff body or, something that is not really a power in the whole understanding of love and death. So it is slightly strange for that to be that I had to kiss his brother first. I have no real story with his older brother. Meaning, it doesn't look nice to enter a family when there was some sexual relations and some sort of something that obviously indicates that it's going to cause some serious issues such as uncomfortableness, especially upon Thanksgiving meals. So that's why it was really strange in 2016 after my engagement to Balthazar and Power secret phone call through QVC commercial on Christmas holidays to ask me to wed Jeffrey Elliott. And it wasn't formal as in terms of as in terms of the gesture and in terms of courting and also I'm not going to say genuine, but also respectable, as in I should have received a letter or I should have received a phone call or a text message or something more real. As in that power phone call, it obviously indicates that they could have called someone else but had connected with their powers to infinity to search for myself where I was. Similar to the Monica 1988 story with the 3 scorpions. So they could have been in front of a woman saying Jeffrey Elliott wanted to wed someone and expected her to answer, while they connected to his real divine partner, which was myself watching QVC around Christmas. So for me to answer yes, would that have made some random girl say yes? Which is fucked up, in all honesty, of the situation that had occurred. Isn't it? Which is why it's obvious that they could have gotten my phone number from Corey, since they were neighbors with Corey. And Zach knows Corey. And I still talk to Corey. Or they could have even found me on Facebook. So it didn't seem that it was going to be something I would answer yes to. It was more like, fuck you, and the fuck you was going to explain every reason to why that was wrong. And they still use all their powers to block a fuck you. So that was pretty much heartbreaking for me on my side of the story, including what still had happened to seem as the emergency room visit 2 days ago, when they injected me with a flush as I laid there listening to a horrific, what seemed as an incident that had occurred in the way, way long time began somewhere, where I got pregnant with Jeffrey and someone went to kill us, with our anger and everything lingering like from past life. It was just a bunch of screaming, yelling, and this and that person's trying to kill me and him, including the baby inside. And the yelling and screaming was red, violent, and really horrific. Underneath all the trust and block and love and blockings and hitting of everything, that I just found myself laying on the emergency room bed crying, only for someone to inject what seemed like an injection that I couldn't see, to have me pass with a random guy that they claim I was talking to or was with in my sleep, named Keto. And I mean, after all that conversation, after all these years since 2016, to be passing and going with someone else meant all the abuse, all the threats, everything else was for myself to pass with Keto. And what element is Keto, and who the fuck is Keto? Which is why it's really strange. I found myself listening to Zach speak in the air and all over the place. Is that when I go to the bathroom, he refuses to have that thought of he wants to have a child. And the moment when he has that thought, he screams, push, push, push. as if he wants me to push my baby out of my body. And this is when I am in a private place, like a toilet, that Zach's brain automatically does that. So I found a different alternative to not have a stomach issue, and it is to actually buy meds that says COSO or something like that. Sounds similar to keto, things like that. And shortly after that, they claim I was dating this guy named Keto after I got these meds, and that I am seeing him and having sexual relationships with him upon my sleep. And I'm not there when I'm sleeping. I'm completely in death of traveling to this and that black space, laying there, sleeping in complete peace and everything else. Which is the only time I actually have a break in the 32 life year span, which is when I am sleeping in darkness. And I actually find it to be the most relaxing time ever. Because when I am sleeping and dreaming, it almost feels like it's a injected nightmare. Or a switch or some weird situation where they claim like a card was a phone. They wanted me to call my mom with a card. And it wasn't a phone at all. And or like I'm here and there, and they want me to contact my parents with objects. So there must be some sort of hopping, skipping to see through my eyes and or send me to a reality where it's someone else's reality. So someone's switching lives here in the midst of all this. It seamlessly seems that someone went to a restaurant and wanted to pay for the bill, and I was somewhere else and had to call my parents. So they used a card at a restaurant to have me call my parents. And why the fuck would I do that? As in, look like a complete maniac to use a card to call my parents. Like a brochure card. It wasn't like a card to use to dial free access to a phone. When they had a phone in front of them. So they wanted me to pick up a brochure to call my parents. And I sit around, they say I threw billions of dollars, I tossed this and that in the trash. So, am I literally somewhere else that I can't see? This is what I wonder, because the neighbor, as I heard him say I had a son with blue eyes. And the dog that I have does act and seem like a son. I do hear him talk, but he's a dog in my eyes, and I get attacked and threatened when I give him dog food. I give him the best dog food. I get $600 US, and I pay for his dog food $65 a bag. $69 actually. And I have all these like immortal mans from Vamp Worlds to give dogs, things like that. Like, so I'm wondering, where the fuck is my reality and actual vision? And who has it? So when you say I'm with Jeff and with all these people, like, where exactly? Am I literally in front of them and I can't see? I see something else somewhere else. And people claim I'm blind. But how am I blind when I'm actually sitting and living in a condo and I can actually see stuff? They stare at my objects literally inside my body and claim it's something bad, something scary. When usually it's just items out of place or a mess or trash. So, do they expect me to clean 24/7 like you did in 2016, 17? from 5 a.m. I jogged on the treadmill, made breakfast, walked Jacob, ate, cleaned, made lunch, walked Jacob, cleaned, made dinner, walked Jacob, cleaned till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or sometimes even 4 a.m. And I wake up at 5 and did the same thing every day. Is that the lifestyle they want me to live? Or what was I doing in some other reality to satisfy a bunch of people that were never visibly around me? As that action still didn't pay me. So I'm kind of confused to what is expected from me from other people in the surrounding areas that supposedly see me and or through my eyes. So the question is, who's fucking with my eyes? Some days I see guys all over my face, things like that. Like, people are calling me lesbian, people that can see the reality that I can see, as in some girl on anonymous page had made a meme saying I was gay, lesbian, whatever. And that was Bucket Pot's face. He's mixed alien. He lives on an alien planet, and it was his face on my face. And people are going around making plastic surgeries, making their nose smaller, doing all these things to the body, just tattoos, everything else, boob implants and all these things. Is it similar to myself where people can't see themselves? And or where they really are as in terms of reality? And the question is, why would someone do this to a bunch of people to change people's realities? Why? So people one day are going to get their reality back. Their gay husband might be their wife. Their house might be humongous. Their house isn't even a castle, a palace, or whatever else. And why is that? Why are people fucking with a bunch of people that way? Only to top that off, people say I don't need braces, my teeth is normal. As in, align proper. But I don't see it and I don't feel it. So, human God had told me, seeing is believing. My therapist told me to touch on a table and tell myself it's a table because I can feel it, I can see it, so it's a table. But how exactly is this shit going on when people are saying I'm with all these people? On top of that, my jobs don't fucking pay. Meaning, they want to claim they paid God of the Universe's kid $9 an hour in 2012. Her salary. Meaning, they wanted to say they paid me money. But they paid the largest digit in one digit, $9. So what the fuck is this shit? So, when I look at my body, when I look at my face, where the fuck and what the fuck does it look like? Including other people. Jacob swears he's a boy, but does he see himself as a boy? Like, the neighbor saw him as a boy. They think I'm a shit mom smoking a cigarette on the balcony deck, and my son's walking around. That's just illegal in USA. No one tickets me. No one mentions it. He's in the car. I'm smoking in the car. That's illegal in USA. For a child, a real child, and me to be in a car, smoking. So the question is, I'm committing crimes somewhere else, doing shit like that in another reality. So why can't I see my son? So why would someone do that to a bunch of people's realities? And the only conclusion that I could find out of all this is the Beauty and the Beast story. As to the moment the Beast loves her, likes her, and the moments they get with each other, everything becomes real and they can all see. Because when I throw trash around here, I hear people's voices cry, scream, and yell. As though I'm kicking them out of my lavish home. So, what is actually going on? Blue Rival had mentioned around 2017, at the end of 2017, as his voice on the bright side had mentioned I was killing a bunch of people. During my sufferings on Latuda and Angel Man, I quit smoking, jogged, did everything perfect because someone was going to kill me if I wasn't behaving as a good angel. Because they claim angels can't smoke cigarettes, la 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 la, da da da, like all that. So, someone was forcing me to be an angel on Latuda meds. And my actions showed that I was enacting as an angel. They said I could fly, but I couldn't see my wings. If a person doesn't see their wings or sense their wings, how would they fly? When I went to Kern County Hospital, they opened my back shirt, lifted it up, and checked my shoulder blades behind my back and to see if I had wings. And that was the Latuda meds. If there were wings, then why can't I see them nor sense them? Someone is fucking with people's eye vision. So they want to claim I went to microblading and had tattooed some more drawings of my eyebrows in. Because my eyebrows started to get thin. And so I wanted them to look thicker. If the person in my reality saw my eyebrows that level, that shape, does that mean when I see my real self, when I connect to my real self, my fucking eyebrow shapes and lines are on my fucking forehead and are near my eyeballs? So why would life do this to a bunch of people? Seriously, why? People walk around and say I'm tiny, I'm skinny, I'm like extra small because I don't eat. Then why do I see myself at an enlarged weight? Only to feel depressed. I walk around with a big fucking belly. It's like I died with a baby inside of me and it's still inside of me. So, the question is, I feel fat on a daily basis. I'm uncomfortable with my body. My body is naturally not this fat. I'm past my own real BMI for my species. So I want to know why people are seeing themselves all fucked up. And other people. My friend told me Angel Corey looked so much like Brad Pitt. I didn't fucking see that. Also, people all around Asia said Ellie Fireman was so extremely handsome. I didn't see that either. And I don't think he saw that either. So how?